We would like to thank today's teacher, Jenny Vipond, and her second grade students for letting us film in their classroom at North Country Elementary School in Center Unified School District in California. Ms. Vipond is a first-year teacher working with the second and third grade combination class. The lesson begins with the reading of words from the story. Ms. Vipond uses the technique of I'll write, you read. Children read the words, stopping to blend only those that are problems.
We're going to blend some words, and some of them are long, so we're going to do it by syllables, okay? You may know these words, and that's okay, okay? They're words that are going to be in the story, okay? So that's why we're going to review them, so that when we read, they're not going to be too many problems. These words aren't going to be too much of a problem when you read if we practice them before, okay? So I'm going to write, and you read. Wait for my finger, okay? The first word. What's the word?
Butterfly.
Nice job. I heard everybody. 2 minutes for the class. Nice work. What's the word?
Sparrow.
You knew that word? I thought that'd be hard. You want to know why I thought that would be hard for you? Because the AR is normally R, like the armadillo card. I thought you'd say sparrow, but you didn't. You said sparrow. Who can tell me what a sparrow is? What's a sparrow? That's kind of a difficult word. Sam.
It's a bird.
It is a bird. It's a type of bird. Excellent job. Okay, let's try another one. What's the word?
Rabbit.
Excellent job. Who can use rabbit in a sentence? Dustin.
Rabbits live in the forest a lot.
Very good. Rabbits can live in the forest. Excellent job. Let's try another one. What's this word?
Mouse.
I am so impressed. Excellent job. I see everybody's eyes up here. What's this word?
Mushroom.
You knew that one too. Pat yourselves on the back. Nice job. They're going to get a little bit more difficult. What's this word?
Crowded.
Who can use crowded in a sentence? This is kind of a word we don't use a lot. Crowded. Megan.
It's usually crowded in stores. There's a lot of people there.
Yes, it's crowded in stores. Can you use it in a sentence? Want to try?
There, in Walmart, it's crowded.
Very good. In Walmart, it's crowded. Good. Very good. Let's try this one. What's this word?
Drenched.
Drenched.
Okay.
Or something.
Normally this ED sometimes does do ed at the end. Sometimes it makes the
Drenched.
t sound like on the tugboat card. Today it's the t sound in this word, so it's drenched. It makes a T sound at the end. It's a little bit irregular. Okay, who can tell me what drenched means? This is another word we don't use a lot. Drenched. Amanda.
We do not want Megan to be drenched.
Good. She used it in a sentence. Excellent job. Do you know what it means? Can you tell me what it means?
Like we don't want her to get wet.
Good. Very wet. Drenched is if you're very, very wet. Some of you may have been drenched on the way to school this morning. I know I was. When I walked from my car all the way to the classroom, the back of my legs were just drenched. It was soaked.
After reading the words, the children review them.
Okay, before I do sentences, I'm going to give you some clues about a word. I want you to tell me which one it is. This is something that flies. It has very beautiful wings. Usually, or sometimes, a type of this is called a monarch. Who knows? Oh, I think you all know it. On the count of 3, whisper it to me. 1, 2, 3.
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Nice job. This is something that has 2 really tall ears. Might have a cushiony tail and it hops around. Sarah.
Rabbit.
Rabbit. Nice job. This is what we talked about. If you are in the rain, you're just going to be, the water's going to be all over you. You're going to be, there's 2 words that are like this, and I want to say them so badly when I'm describing it. You're all wet. Which word do you think it is, Dustin?
Drenched.
Drenched. Good. What's the other one that's like drenched? Mercedes.
Soaked.
Soaked. Very good. Okay, this is what the word We visualized, and Dustin Sessler gave us a description of what he visualized. Which word is this? Megan.
Crowded?
We did, that's something that sounds just like it, right? You want to come and circle crowded? But who can think it's a word that's just like crowded, but we talked about, we visualized this word. We closed our eyes, and we made a picture in our head about what it would look like. Tony?
Huddled.
Huddled. Why don't you come up and circle it? Excellent job. He found it right away. So did Megan. She found her word. Excellent job.
After reading the words, using some in sentences, and reviewing them, the students read sentences. Again, they will stop to blend only those words that may be a problem.
Dustin.
A mushroom was peeking out of the ground in a clearing in the woods.
Pat yourself on the back. Nice job reading. Sam, why don't you try and read it?
A mushroom was peeking out of the ground in a clearing in the woods.
Excellent job. Excellent job. Clearing. So we've read it a couple times now. Who thinks they know what a clearing is? It's a word I don't think we've ever discussed. It's a tough one. What's a clearing? Ryan.
It's like a bald part of the ground.
Very good. It is. It almost looks like a bald part of the ground. A clearing is an open space. Let's see, we have trees here. Okay. I'm not an artist. So we have trees. Okay. And here we might just have weeds, you know. So this would be a clearing. Okay, so a mushroom was peeking out of the ground in a clearing in the woods. So it'd be peeking out in this area. Okay, good job. Let's read it all together.
The ant moved over and made room for its cousin under the mushroom.
Ms. Vipond has students reread sentences naturally. This supports the development of fluency.
Long one. Who'd like to read it the way we would normally read it? Dustin.
The ant moved over and made room for its cousin under the mushroom.
Very good. Nice job. Let's read it.
Why was there enough room under the mushroom?
Proofreading is naturally built into blending.
Questions? I thought you could all read it. Mercedes.
You need one of those question marks at the end.
She says, I need, a little bit louder, Mercedes, so we can hear you.
You need a question mark at the end because it's a question.
It is. She says, I need a question mark at the end because it's a question. Let's all read it together the way we would normally read it in a sentence. Okay, so you're going to read it a little bit more quickly. Go ahead.
Why was there enough room under the mushroom?
Nice job. Excellent job.
Ms. Vipond moves quickly through the blending and begins the reading of the selection Mushrooms in the Rain. She encourages the class to think about what they already know about the concept of kindness and refers them to resources in the room, the concept board, and their explorers' notebooks.
Today we're going to read another story in our kindness unit. But before we read the story, I want you to brainstorm with me and let's think about what we know about kindness already. Okay? We've written some things up on the concept board. We've also written some things in our explorer's notebook already about things we know about kindness, things we want to know. We've also learned some things because we read The Shoemaker and the Elves. Okay? I want you to think with me about things that we already know about kindness. Tell me some concepts you know about kindness already. Look at these quiet hands. Excellent job. Crystal.
I forgot.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Isha.
I know how to share.
Say it one more time.
Kindness is sharing.
Kindness is sharing. Excellent job. It sure is. Dustin.
Kindness is a good friend.
Kindness is a good friend. Excellent job. Jacqueline.
Kindness is loyalty.
Very good. Kindness is being loyal. Excellent job. Jose.
Kindness makes you happy.
Kindness makes you happy. It sure does. Excellent job. Okay, Dustin Miller.
Kindness is being nice to other people and helping them.
Very good. Kindness is helping. Well, today we're going to read Mushroom in the Rain, and it's in our kindness unit. So, is this story going to show kindness, you think?
Yes.
Probably. It probably will. I think so. Okay, down to the bottom, We're going to read about the author. Who'd like to read me in what it says in red? What it says in red. It has a name in that sentence. It's going to be kind of difficult. Who'd like to try it? Megan.
Myra Ginsburg.
Very good. Ginsburg.
Author.
It says, Mira Ginsburg was born in a small Russian village, much like the towns and the folk tales that she loved to read. Oh, I see everybody following. Nice job. She went to schools in other countries and finally in the United States. She learned English by reading poetry with the help of a dictionary. She learned to read English, it sounds like, all on her own by reading. It says, Mira Ginsburg began writing children's books by taking books written in Russian or Yiddish, it's another language, and rewriting them in English so that American children could enjoy them. Before long, she was making up her own stories. She says, from my father, I learned to love animals and green growing things. As a child, I was surrounded with them. Yes?
Can I sum up what you just read?
You sure may. She'd like to sum up what we just read.
Myra Ginsburg was born in Russia Village, and she loved to read folk tales and other stories, and she kept on going to schools in a bunch of other states until she finally went in the United States, and then she got help reading by a dictionary all by herself.
All by herself, didn't she? Nice job summing up. She took the important parts that we read and she put them together. She summed up. Who knows what we do when it's a rainy day? Why is a rainy day different than a sunny day? Megan.
Because the sun goes down and when it's raining.
Okay, we don't see the sun when it's raining because the clouds are covering it. Why? What else is different on a rainy day? Dustin?
We have to stay inside when it's rainy, and when it's sunny, we can go out and play.
Yeah, why do we stay inside when it's raining, Dustin?
Because, so we don't get cold and we don't get soaking wet. We have to stay and play games, and we can go outside because in sunny days there's birds flying in the sky, and then rainy days there's not mostly birds flying.
Yeah, no. Sometimes you don't see very many animals out when it's raining, do you? Okay, Alvaro said that you don't see very many animals outside, right? Okay, what do the animals do, you think, when it rains? Or what do you think? Visualize the forest. The trees are everywhere. What do you think the animals do when it's a rainy day? You can open your eyes now. Dustin.
Bears hibernate in the winter.
They do. Bears hibernate in the winter. So are they going to be out in the rain?
No.
No.
Not even catching fish.
No, they're not even catching fish, she says. Megan.
Gophers go in their burrows.
Gophers can go back in their burrows. Yeah, so they go under cover. They hide.
After children discuss what people and animals do on rainy days, they browse the first few pages of the selection and do clues, problems, and wonderings.
We're going to browse like we do every story. Here's the deal. Today you get to not only browse the first page, but you get to browse the second and the third page. You get to browse how many pages altogether? 3 pages. Why aren't we going to browse the whole story? Who knows? Who knows we're not going to browse the whole story, Jacqueline?
Because then it gives away the whole story.
Gives away the whole story, right? Then you won't have any wonderings. We won't know. I mean, we'll know everything, so we won't have to read it, but we want to read it. So we're not going to browse the whole story. You browse the first, how many pages?
3.
3 pages. Why don't you go ahead and browse those things, and I'm going to look for quiet hands raised with clues, problems, or wonderings. Dustin has one already.
Well, I don't have one, but there's an animal that doesn't hibernate. They like to go outside. Frogs.
Oh, yeah, frogs like to be wet. Good, you were thinking. Dustin.
I have a clue.
Okay.
Just by looking at the beginning of kindness in the front of the book, I saw it and it says it's a fantasy.
Do you remember what it's called? What you looked at the beginning?
The table of contents.
The table of contents. He actually looked at the table of contents, the very front of the book, and he noticed that it said what kind of genre?
Fantasy.
Fantasy. Very good, Dustin. The genre is a fantasy. Now, if you didn't know to look at the table of contents, what are some clues that this story gives you so that you would know this is fantasy, that this isn't real? What are some other clues in the story, Sam?
They talk.
Who talks?
The animals.
The animals talk. Do animals talk in real life?
No.
No. I mean, they communicate, I think. They communicate, but do they talk like we talk? No, they do. They make sounds, Kevin says. They communicate, but they don't talk. So if the animals are talking in this story, can this be a real story? No. Can it be realistic fiction even? No. Can't be realistic, can it? Fiction. It has to be fantasy, like Dustin said. Good. What are some other clues, problems, or wonderings you have? Jose?
This is a problem.
Okay.
H-A-R-D-E-R.
Can you spell it again for me?
H-A-R-D-E-R.
Okay. I'm going to get all the problems first, and then we'll go back to them. Okay? So I'm going to wait till clues, problems, and wonderings are done, and then we'll go back and blend these words. Okay? Tony?
I wonder if all the animals are going to step in a big old puddle and drown.
Oh, good wondering. I wonder if animals are going to step in puddle. The animals are going to step in puddles, or in a puddle. Very good wondering. Megan.
That's the title is a clue.
Okay, what's the title?
Mushroom in the rain.
Okay, what kind of clue does that give you?
That a mushroom's gonna be in the rain.
Good. Dustin.
I think that the mushroom is gonna protect all the animals from the rain.
Let me go back to let me sum up what you just said. Okay, Dustin thinks that the mushroom will be a place for all the animals to be, right? Underneath the mushroom. Okay, now what clue, did you look at the text or the pictures for that?
The pictures in the first one.
Okay. Mushroom is place for animals to hide from rain. Any other clues, problems, or wonderings? Megan.
This is a wondering.
Okay.
I wonder if there's going to be a cat in the story.
I wonder if there's going to be a cat in the story.
Note how the teacher takes notes rather than writing complete sentences. She models note-taking and saves time.
Mercedes. A little bit louder so I can hear you.
I wonder how the butterfly is going to fit under the mushroom.
Very good wondering. Jacqueline.
Do all the animals end up fitting?
Hey, do all the animals fit? We have a lot of wonderings in the story. Good. We have reason to read. We can find out the answers. Crystal.
How can a mouse fit under? It's a wondering. How can a mouse fit under a mushroom?
Jenny takes a few minutes to review the strategies the students have been learning.
Before we read, okay, I want us to talk about some strategies, some reading strategies that we use when we read. Okay, there's some things we do to help us understand what we're reading. Raise your hand if you know of any strategies that you'd like to share with me, and we'll see if I'll pick. Okay, a strategy. Megan.
Making connections.
Making connections. She's right. Oh, let me get my magnets. Okay, we'll put them up. Making connections. Megan, can you want to tell me what a making a connection is?
You can take things from one story and another story and make a connection by putting them together, and also connect things from your life in the story.
Yes, she gave us 2 ways to connect. You can connect between another story, right? Something might remind you of another story, or another book that you've read, and you can make a connection. You can also connect to something that happened in your life. Very nice job. Any other strategies that you can think of? Dustin Sessler.
Summing up.
Sum up, yes. Can you describe what summing up is?
It's if you can read a sentence, a paragraph, or a page. If you're summing up, and you need to you don't need to retell the whole entire story. All you have to do is tell the parts that the important parts that happened.
Nice job.
That you read.
You're right. Why would you need to sum up? Why do we need to sum up? Why do we do that? Megan.
If you know too much, you stop.
Yeah. If you have read too much and your brain just can't hold all the information, we stop. And somebody raise their hand and say, I need to sum up because I need to review what we've just read. It helps us understand. Excellent job. When else would you reread? When would you need to reread? Megan.
You can a paragraph, and if you don't understand something, you can reread it.
Very good. Okay, so we have a lot of strategies that we can use. Remember, as we read, whenever you'd like to use a strategy, okay, just raise your hand and let me know. Okay, just stop me and say, raise your hand and say, Ms. Vipond, I'd like to sum up, or I'd like to interpret, or I'd like to visualize. Remember how to do that. Okay, let's start. Who'd like to read the title for us? Okay, who'd like to read the title? Megan.
Mushroom in the Rain.
Mushroom in the Rain. And who's it by? Let's read that her name all together.
Marilyn Ginsberg.
It's illustrated by
Jose.
Jose. Do we have a Jose in the room?
Yes.
They have the same name, don't they? Okay, before we start, we're gonna use a lot of the strategies today, but one or two of the strategies that will be very good for this story is visualizing. We'll do a lot of visualizing in this story. Okay? We're also going to be making some connections in this story, and we might be doing some interpreting in this story. But are those the only three we're going to use? No, because we can use them. We're good readers, so we can use all of them, can't we?
Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to start off. Okay? Follow along with your finger, please. One day, an ant was caught in the rain. Where can I hide? He wondered. He saw a tiny mushroom peeking out of the ground in a clearing, and he hid under it. You know what? I'm going to stop myself.
The teacher models the strategies by thinking aloud. Throughout the lesson, she will encourage the students to do the same.
Because I need to use a strategy, I'm thinking, I'd like to visualize. Would you like to visualize with me?
Yeah.
Okay, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay. I'd like you to try and visualize, okay, a tiny mushroom. Close your eyes and think about a tiny mushroom. And it's just peeking. Okay. So you can barely see it out of the ground. Can you visualize that? Yeah. Okay, open your eyes. Tell me what you saw. Tell me what you saw. Dustin Miller.
A whole bunch of grass, and I saw a little tiny mushroom and a tiny ant going under there so it doesn't drown.
Okay, what else did you see, Tony?
I saw a little mushroom, barely that big of its thing at the top of it.
Top of it?
Yeah, sticking out, and the ant was crawling under there, and it crawled up under there and was hanging upside down.
That's what Tony thought about his head. Nice job. Sam, continue.
He sat there waiting for the rain to stop, but the rain came down harder and harder. A wet butterfly crawled up to the mushroom. Cousin Ant, let me come in from the rain. I am so wet, I cannot fly. How can I let you in? Said the ant. There is barely room enough for one.
Good, stop there, Sam. Excellent job. I'm wondering, Cousin Ant, do the ant and the butterfly, do they know each other?
Oh, yeah.
How could they be cousins? Why would he say cousin? Why would the butterfly say Cousin Ant? I'm confused. Can somebody please clarify that for me, Megan?
Because I think Because the ant looks exactly like the butterfly, but the ant doesn't have wings.
Maybe, yeah, maybe because they look alike. Anybody have any other wondering? Maybe they're wondering that too. What do you think, John?
Because that's the wet ant and that's the blue ant. I mean, the black ant.
Okay, so maybe you're looking at colors. Okay, Jacqueline, why do you think?
I wanted to use a strategy.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Let me figure out. I'm trying to figure out why. Why would he say cousin ant, Jose?
They're cousins.
How could they be cousins though?
Because you know how I have a cousin that's different from me. He's bigger.
You're right. You're right, Jose. He also made a connection. Don't we? We have cousins, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
My cousin's a girl.
Crystal, why do you think they're called cousins?
Because the ant's a bug, and so is the butterfly, because the butterfly was a caterpillar, and the caterpillar is a bug.
Very
So,
good. Very good. They're both insects, aren't they? We talked about arachnosaur this year, okay? And a little bit about insects. They're both insects. Maybe that's why they said cousin ant.
Can I use a strategy?
Mm-hmm.
Visualize.
Okay, you'd like to visualize? What would you like to visualize? Tell us.
That the ant's moving over, and they're making room for the butterfly, and it's raining harder and harder.
Nice job. He wants us to visualize the ant scooting over for the butterfly. Go ahead, open your eyes. Nice job.
Let me under the mushroom. Wait, let me in under the mushroom.
Good.
I am drenched to the bone.
I'm going to stop there. What do we think drenched to the bone means? I need to use a strategy called interpret. This is a phrase, drenched to the bone. What does it mean? Kevin.
Like super soaking wet.
Super soaking wet. Right, it does. Good. Okay, remember, anytime you want to use a strategy, just let me know. Okay? I'm going to have somebody else. Isha, why don't you read next?
How can we let you in? There is no more room here. Just move a little closer. They huddled closer and let the mouse in, and the rain came down and would not stop.
Nice job. Nice job. Ryan, why don't you read next page?
The blue sparrow hopped up to the mushroom, crying, "My feathers are dripping, my wings are so tired. Let me under the mushroom to dry out and rest until the rain stops."
Nice job reading. Nice job. Tony.
I want to visualize.
Tony would like to use a strategy. He'd like to visualize. Go ahead, everybody, close your eyes. Tony, describe what you want us to visualize.
Imagine in your head that the bird wants in and they're squishing in and he can't fit and he wants to dry his wings off and everybody's getting squashed.
Yeah, okay, good visualizing. Can you almost feel yourself getting squished if you pretend you're the ant or the butterfly? Yeah, okay, open your eyes. Nice job, Tony. Okay, Amanda. Yes, why don't you read the next part?
But there is no room here. Please move over just a little. They moved over, and there was room. There was room enough for a sparrow.
Say it again, for
the sparrow.
For the sparrow. Good job. I noticed Amanda used a strategy, and she didn't even know it, I don't think. She used reread, okay? She started to read, they moved over, and she said, and there was room enough for the sparrow. She reread. Thumbs up, Amanda. Nice job. Nice job. Okay, Destin. Oh, yes. I thought you were going to use a strategy. Remember, only raise your hand if you're going to use a strategy because it'll confuse me if you don't. Destin, go ahead and read the next page. Page 180.
Then a rabbit hopped into the clearing, and saw the mushroom. "Oh, hide me," he cried. "Save me. A fox is chasing me." "Poor rabbit," said the ant. "Let's crowd ourselves a little more and talk him in.
Okay, let's read that word again. A little more and
Take him in?
take him in. Good job. He had to reread. That's the A blank E pattern, long A. Take him in. Nice job. Megan. Megan would like to predict. Go ahead, Megan. What would you like to predict?
I predict if a cat's gonna go into the mushroom.
She'd like to predict because Megan also had a wondering. Remember, she did wonder at the beginning, is there going to be a cat in this story? So now she's going to predict. She's like, I think there might be a cat. Maybe there will be. We'll see. Okay, Crystal.
I like to
Clarify.
She'd like. What would you like to clarify?
How could a rabbit fit underneath a mushroom?
Oh, okay. Crystal actually has. She needs clarification because she has a question. She's asking a question. How can a rabbit fit under a mushroom? You think maybe it can?
No.
Maybe it can't?
Yes. The mushroom must be pretty big.
I don't know. Well, did the mushroom fit underneath there? Yeah, so it seemed to fit. I think as we read on, Crystal, that we'll have the answer to your question. Okay, I actually need to sum up, okay, because we have read a lot, and I like to sum up. What do we know so far? Okay, could I have Jose read the next page?
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they had the rabbit
I'm going to stop you. Hang on. What's this word?
had hid
Good. As soon as they...
hid the rabbit, the fox came running. Have you seen a rabbit? Which way did he go? He asked. He has not seen him.
Good. Wait a minute. Let's stop there. What's this word?
We have not seen him.
Good. We have not seen him. Thank you for reading, Jose. Crystal, would you read next?
The fox came nearer and sniffed. There is a rabbit smell around. Isn't he hiding here?
Ooh, yeah. Let's see. Turn the page. Let's see what happens. Isha, why don't you read next?
You silly fox, how could a rabbit get under here? Don't you see there isn't any room?
Good job. Okay, why don't you read the second sentence again? How could a rabbit
Get in here.
get in here? Good. Don't you see there isn't any room? Wow, they don't want him in there, do they? Alvaro, why don't you continue reading?
The fox turned up his nose, licked his tail, and ran off. By then, the rain was over. The sun looked out from behind the clouds, and everyone came out from under the mushroom bright and merry.
Good, let's stop there. Let's go back up to the fox. You silly fox, how could a rabbit get in here? Don't you see there isn't any room? They said that to the fox. I wonder why the animal said that to the fox. Then let everybody else squish in. They probably could have let him squish in. There probably was some room, maybe. Why do you think they turned the fox away? Dustin.
Because they don't want the fox to eat the rabbit.
Give me a silent yes if you think that's why they turned the fox away. I think you're probably right. Megan.
I think Dustin's sister just made a connection
You think he did? How did he make a connection?
by telling us that in the first part that the rabbit said that a fox was chasing him.
Oh, I
And
see.
the fox came, and then the ant and all of the animals remembered, so they didn't let the fox.
Yeah, Dustin remembered about some earlier clue in the text, right? About how the rabbit was being chased. Good. Quah-ha-ha, said the frog. Don't you know what happens to a mushroom in the rain? And he hopped away, still laughing. I'd like to use a strategy called predict. Okay? I think the frog gave us a clue. Okay? And I want to know what he meant by that. Let's look back at our pages. Okay, why don't you flip back all the way to page 177, where we first see the mushroom. Okay, on page 176, can you see the mushroom in a clearing? Yeah. Okay, you see it in the clearing. What size is it there? Really, really small. Let's look at the other pictures. What's happening to the mushroom as more and more people get into it? It's growing, right? Does it grow a little bit bigger with each person or with each animal? Yeah. Jack? Oh, Crystal, what'd you say? Oh, Crystal thinks maybe they're all
being tugged and the mushroom's growing and it's getting pulled back up.
Oh, she thinks as they move in, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. The whole time it's growing, is it still raining?
Yes.
Okay, so it still rains.
It rains harder every day.
Okay, rains harder and harder, Kevin says?
Yeah.
Harder and harder? Okay, Dustin, what do you think?
I think that every picture shows it's raining harder and harder, and mushrooms grow after it rains really hard. And I think what they mean in this picture back here, that don't you know that mushrooms grow after rain?
Oh, that's what Dustin thinks. He thinks it was a clue. The frog's saying, don't you know what happens to a mushroom after rain? What happens to it?
It grows.
It grows. Let's turn the page and look. The ant, the butterfly, the mouse, the sparrow, and the rabbit looked at one another. Then at the mushroom, and suddenly they knew why there was room enough under the mushroom for them all. Do you know? Can you guess what happens to a mushroom when it rains? It grows, doesn't it? It grows. John.
And near the big mushroom, on the ground, there's little ones.
Oh, John sees other smaller mushrooms on the ground. On the ground, he sees others. Jacqueline.
I think it grows because plants need water to grow.
Good. She made a connection. Nice job, Jacqueline. She knew that plants needed water to grow. So you think a mushroom needs water to grow too? Yeah, the rain helps the mushroom grow, just like other plants need water to help it grow.
After reading the selection, the class takes a few minutes to discuss the strategies they used.
Okay, I want to think about the strategy we used during this story. Think about some of the problems we had, some of the problems we came across in the story, or some of the things we wanted to stop. Some of the things we wanted to stop and look at. What are some of the strategies we used as good readers? Tony?
We used visualize.
We did. We visualized a couple times, didn't we, Tony?
Yeah.
What other strategies did we use, Alvaro? We did. We did a sum up, didn't we? Let's see. Did we make connections in this story? Yeah, we did some making connections, right? Didn't we? Did we clarify any words in this story?
Yeah.
I think we might have, yeah. I think we definitely did rereading, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did rereading. We talked about that. I think Crystal asked a question sometime during that story. Yeah, oh, were you? She was about to say that. She did ask a question, okay. Did any of you, as you were reading, come across a word that was difficult and you maybe stopped, reread it in your head, but then you kept reading the sentence to see if it made sense? Yeah.
I would do that at home.
And sometimes Dustin says he even does that at home. That's good. Would you use these strategies just in the classroom?
No.
No, they're what good readers do. So you're going to use these anytime you read. Sometime when you're reading a book at home, if you're reading the newspaper with mom and dad, if you're reading out of a magazine, okay? If you're reading your tests, okay? If I hand you a test and you need to read the directions, you can reread words you don't understand. You can apply context clues. Okay, use these all the time. Did we do any wonderings?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did wonderings before too, but we also did them during the story. Oh, have we talked about how the text made us felt yet?
Yeah.
Well, we did. I think maybe we did a little bit, but you know what? We didn't stop and do that. How would you have felt if you were? I have a good one. What if you were the rabbit underneath with the ant, the butterfly, the rat? The sparrow. Thank you, Kevin. and you knew a fox was coming after you, and the fox was right there sniffing around, and he said, do you know where a rabbit is?
Attention all staff, we are no longer on rainy day schedule. No longer on rainy day schedule.
Okay. Okay, so what if you're that rabbit, and you're hiding, and you know a fox is right there, and he asks the other animals, do you see a rabbit in there? How would you have felt right then?
Scared.
How would you have felt, Jacqueline?
Can I say it and then do mine?
Okay, we'll talk about it first, and we'll go on.
Scared.
You would have felt scared. Jose, how would you have felt?
I would have felt frightened.
Jacqueline.
I want to make a connection
Okay.
of the story. It was raining, and it was raining today, and then the sun came up in the story, and the sun came up today.
Yes, Jacqueline made a connection.
Students return to the clues, problems, and wonderings.
Now let's return to our clues, problems, and wonderings, and let's see if we touched upon all of these things. Let's see, what's this first clue?
Fantasy.
You think we were right? Was it a fantasy? Yeah, that was the genre. The title was a clue, right? The title was a clue. A mushroom will be in the rain. Was that true?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a mushroom in the rain. Raining was a clue. We saw it in the picture. Was it raining?
Yeah.
We were right there. A mushroom is a place for animals to hide from the rain. Was the mushroom a place for the animals to hide?
Yes.
Yeah, they hid in there, didn't they? We had 3 problem words that we came up with. What's this word?
Harder. Huddled. Caught.
Caught. Yes. Did we come across all those in the story? Yeah, we did. Yeah, and they weren't too much of a problem, were they? No. When you practice some of those words, if you browse for words that are difficult before you read and try and sound them out first, and they probably won't give you a problem as you read. Okay? Wonderings. Let's look at our wonderings. If animals are going to step in a puddle, did that happen? No, they didn't happen to step in a, not that we read about. It was raining, so they could have stepped in a puddle, right? But we didn't read about that. That's how did they get wet? Not from a puddle, but from what, Jacqueline?
The rain.
The rain, yes. An ant. Jose wanted to know if the ant was going to fall off into the rain. Maybe fall off the mushroom. Did an ant fall into the rain?
No.
Maybe it didn't fall off into the rain, but did the ant get a little bit wet?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Does the mushroom grow?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does grow, doesn't it? It grows because animals go underneath it. Plus, it grows in the rain. There was one thing here about maybe there might be an odor of the mushroom. Did we read about the mushroom maybe smelling underneath? No, we didn't read about that. An ant pulling on the rat's nose.
Yeah.
Did we see that? See if you can find that.
No, he was on its nose.
Oh, let's look for that. What page is that, Sam?
178. He's on his nose.
178. And oh, I don't know. Let's see.
He is.
Here.
The ant's on top of the nose, right?
Yeah.
What do you think the ant and the butterfly are doing there?
On that one, he's holding the nose.
Jacqueline, what's he doing?
They're holding on, or they would be back in the rain, but they are back. On that one, there, I thought it was.
You think they're holding on?
See, on that
Let's turn back to the previous page. Look at page 177. What's the ant doing to the butterfly there?
Pushing it in.
Squishing the butterfly in, Alvaro says. So, now that you know that, go to page 178. What do you think they're doing to the mouse?
Squishing him.
You think they're just holding on to him?
Squishing him.
They're pulling the mouse nose so it doesn't get wet.
Yeah, okay. So you think they're helping him again? Yeah, they might be helping him get out of the rain. Okay. So we thought he was pulling the rat's nose. He might have been pulling or pushing, either one, right? Okay, was there a cat in the story? Yeah. We didn't see a cat, did we? But we thought there might be. I wonder how the butterfly fits under the mushroom. How does he finally fit in, John?
It was something about the cat.
Okay, let's do this first. How does the butterfly finally fit into the mushroom?
The
Fit
ant,
under the mushroom.
the ant was squishing it under.
Yeah, the ant helps him in, right? Okay, John, what did you say? What did you want to say about a cat?
The fox was kind of like a cat.
Yeah, maybe if Megan saw the picture, that maybe that's what she was thinking. He said the fox can maybe look like a cat. Okay. They want to know if the rat was fat. The mouse, yeah, they had to push him in, didn't they? He was big. Will all the animals fit?
Yes.
Did they all fit?
Not all.
Do they all fit? Which?
Yeah.
Think about it. Think about it. Do they all fit?
No.
Jose says no. Why do you say no, Jose?
Because the fox didn't fit.
Ah, the fox didn't go underneath. But did they try and make the fox fit?
No.
So what happened? If they didn't try and make him fit, why didn't he go underneath the mushroom, Megan?
Because they didn't want to have the fox eat the rabbit.
They didn't want the fox to eat
And
the
I had
rabbit.
something else.
So could the fox maybe have fit underneath there? Yeah, he could have maybe fit because the mushroom was growing, right? But they didn't want him to fit in there. Okay? Did the mouse fit? Yeah, we talked about that. The mouse, you know what? We used two words for the same thing, rat and mouse, because we hadn't read the story and we didn't know what it was going to be called, mouse or rat. Yeah, it's a mouse, but before when we did browsing, we didn't know.
With a minimum of movement, the students move into a circle, which facilitates group discussion.
Group 2, I'd just like you to take your chairs, put them on this side, and you're going to sit on this side of your desk. And that way we've got a small circle right here. So don't move your desks. You just pull up your, let's see, yeah, John knows. He's just bringing his chair around. Nice job. And they're carrying it without the legs sticking up. They're making it safe. Or they're dragging their chair. Good. John's all ready to go. See how simple that was? One move and we're in discussion. We're going to have a discussion, okay? We're going to do handing off. Who remembers what handing off is? Who remembers what handing off is? Jacqueline.
We talked about something, and then that person that was talking would call on someone, and then they would keep talking.
You're right. You're right. What we do is we'll share something, okay? And then you just look, when you're finished, you look for somebody with their hand up, and you just call on that person. Let's review what active listening is. During discussion, it's very, very important to use active listening. Okay, Jacqueline, what's active listening?
Your mouth is off and your hands are to yourself.
Yes, you're not talking to your neighbor, are you? Your hands are what?
To yourself.
They're to yourself. Okay, are they fooling around with your bookmark or with your book?
No.
No, because then that distracts you. Megan, what else is active listening? Eyes on the speaker, right? So I should see all eyes on me right now because I'm the one speaking? Yeah? Okay, Jose.
Feet on the floor, because if we have them not on the floor or kicking someone's chair like this or kicking our desk like this, it'll distract you.
Very good. Okay, I'll start us off today. I'm going to say I didn't know that they were all going to fit under the mushroom. I was really surprised that they all fit underneath it because I looked at that first picture and I thought that mushroom's so small. I don't know, maybe the ant will fit, but I don't know if anybody else will. Okay, so that's what I was thinking about the story. Jacqueline.
I think it was kind of all the animals to squish together to let the other animals in so they wouldn't get drenched.
Yeah, that was kind.
Megan?
I liked the part when the mouse couldn't fit and so the butterfly and the ant kept pulling its nose to get it in under the mushroom.
Yeah,
Mushroom.
that was funny, huh?
Sam?
I'm still confused about how did the mushroom grow that fast?
Good question. Anybody have an answer for that?
Or
Okay, wait a minute. I know, you have your own, don't you? Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Save it. You've got great ideas. Save what you have. Let's talk about what Sam asked. Sam said, I'm still confused. Do you have an answer for that, maybe?
Oh yeah,
Why the mushroom grew so fast?
because they have both are plants and they both have roots. Like if the water touches, it keeps growing and growing. It's like a plant. When the water touches the root, it starts growing.
So maybe because it has roots, maybe somebody else might know, Alvaro? And then we'll get back to yours.
Anthony.
maybe it's making it grow because everybody's big and it's making it force grow because it's pushing and the water's making it
grow more, and they're making it grow more.
So I'm going to clarify. I'm going to kind of sum up what Tony said. Let me make sure I understand you, Tony. Tony says maybe it grew so fast because you said everybody's underneath it, squishing in. But not only are they squishing in, but all that rain's coming down. So maybe those two things made it grow really, really fast. That might be why. Anybody else have any ideas, Tony? See if anybody does.
Dustin.
This made me think of a different book I read. I don't remember what it was, but it was about a mushroom, but it wasn't. It was a fantasy, but it was about people who went under the mushroom. Jonathan.
I thought that they were going to let the fox into the mushroom.
Jonathan thought they'd let the fox in the mushroom. Who else thought that? Touch your nose. Thought maybe they would. I thought maybe they would too. Because it's a story about kindness. I thought, well, they'll let the fox in. But then I realized it was more kind to leave the fox out so the rabbit could stay alive, right?
I have two things. One about the story and stuff. My mom's friend, he has a book about mushrooms and a whole bunch of kinds of them. And I think the story is really, really good for little kids because most little kids like animals. And, I guess I'm done.
Okay, good. I wanted to say, I didn't raise my hand. Go ahead, pick on somebody else. I didn't have my hand up yet. But I did want to say something. Did you want to pick on me? I wanted to say that, Sam, I think maybe that you should put that question on the question board because it's a question we have about a story and kindness. So later in maybe handing off, later when we do small group, I'll give you an extra Post-it. And I think maybe that Sam should put that question on the question board. You think so? And then we can leave that question up there and maybe we'll answer it using John saying yes, he thinks maybe we should do that. And we can use some other resources to find that out.
Students move from large to small groups to discuss how the story relates to the unit theme and to make connections with the previously read selection.
We're going to do small group discussion, but before we get into the groups, and before I pass out the Post-its, I want us to brainstorm because what I want you to do in your small group, I need all eyes on me. Thank you. What I want you to do in the small group, okay? When you're discussing something with your partners, I want you to discuss how this story showed kindness, okay? I want you to talk about with your partners, listen to me, talk about who was kind. Could there be more than one person, more than one animal? Yeah, okay, so talk about all the characters that were kind, okay? I want you to think about how they showed the kindness. Try not to just say, I think the rabbit was kind. I want you to extend it. Tell me why. Remember, I always ask you, tell me why. Okay? Talk with your partners or talk with your group and say, I think so-and-so was kind because they did this. Okay? I want you to expand on your sentences and tell your group why you thought they were kind. So, you're going to talk about how the story showed kindness. So, who was kind in this story? Also, you could go a step beyond. I want you to maybe make a connection. Try and make a connection between this story and maybe the elves and the shoemaker. Maybe think about how you have to think again about the elves and the shoemaker. How are the elves kind? Think about it in your head. Okay. How was the shoemaker and his wife kind? Think about it in your head. Okay. And then think about how the elves, the shoemaker and his wife, how are they like these animals at all? Maybe you think they weren't. Maybe you think they were, and I want you to tell me why. I'm going to give each group one Post-it. Okay, I want you to talk about these things. Talk about how the story showed kindness. Okay, you can leave your books out because you might need to refer to them to help you think. Okay, so you can look at John and Jacqueline. Yes, you can. Why don't the two of you do one, and the two of them do one? Well, you can all write something on it if you'd like. But you, did you think about how it might connect to the elves and shoemakers?
Okay, what else do we what I'm trying to do is kind of, okay, I think no one was doing the writing because I know more.
Keep your Post-its because you're going to share them first.
After working in groups, students share their ideas about unit concepts and make connections across selections.
Okay, who'd like to share back what their group discussed? Amanda, why don't you share?
We think that
Okay, you know what, Amanda? I'm going to stop you, and I'm sorry, but there's not a group that's being rude. Okay, go ahead.
we think that the ant was kind because he let the animals in the mushroom.
Very good.
Subject kindness mushroom in the rain. We also think the animals were kind to tell the fox the rabbit was not there.
Who has it? Mercedes. From you and Amanda, okay.
The mushroom was kind to let everyone under it.
Oh, okay.
We think this story is about kindness because every time an animal wanted to get out of the rain, the other animals would let it out of the rain.
Very good, very good. The person who has the Post-it in their hand right now, would you please tiptoe and put it in the appropriate spot? So if it's a question, it goes on the question board. If it's concepts, it goes on the concept board.
The children complete the appropriate section in their Explorer's notebook.
Remember, if your books are out, that's good. Your books are a resource for you to look into. If you need to look back and look at the pictures or read some more of the text, that's okay. It's not cheating. This isn't a test. It's to help you recall what happened in the story. So if you need to look in your book, you can. Megan?
I learned that mushrooms grow when it rains, and I also learned that you can be kind by giving up something.
Very good. Alvaro?
The story was like the elves and the shoemaker because the shoemaker gave bread to the elves because it was rainy and snowy, and the ant let all 5 animals in. Oops.
Made a connection. Very good.